In the high-stakes world of military intelligence and elite espionage, there is a survival protocol known as becoming a gray man. We tend to imagine spies as they appear in movies, wearing tuxedos, driving loud sports cars, and commanding the attention of the entire room. But in reality, those are the operatives who get caught. A true gray man is different. He is highly trained, lethally dangerous, and possesses immense resources. But he cultivates an appearance that is so unremarkably average that he slides off your eyes like water. He is the person you sat next to on the train but cannot describe 5 minutes later. He blends into the background of any environment. He neutralizes his own presence, and he never triggers a threat assessment in others. He is invisible until the exact moment he chooses not to be. Currently, the smartest and most sophisticated millionaires in the world are adopting this exact gray man strategy. You see them on the street and you assume they're nobodies. You might see them wearing faded hoodies, checking the price of gas, or driving 10-year-old trucks, and you assume they're doing it because they are humble or trying to stay grounded. You might even write them off as just being eccentric geniuses who don't care about aesthetics. But you would be making a fatal calculation error. You are missing the strategic point entirely. They aren't trying to be humble. They are trying to be secure. They know a dark secret that the rest of the status-obsessed society ignores. In a volatile, hyper-connected world, visibility is a liability. Being seen is the first step to being targeted by lawsuits, by scammers, by thieves, and by the envious. Today, we're going to look past the fabric in the paint. We're going to explore the tactical reasons why the ultra-wealthy are choosing aggressive social camouflage, and why looking poor isn't a failure. It is the smartest, most ruthless survival mechanism of the modern age. If you walk into a room wearing a $20,000 Rolex, you aren't just wearing jewelry, you are broadcasting a frequency. You are holding up a neon sign that screams to the room, "I have excess resources, please come and pitch me." You immediately become a magnet for what sociologists call ask culture. Suddenly, every interaction you have is tainted by a hidden agenda. The conversation isn't about connection, it's about extraction. Your distant cousin doesn't just want to say hello. She has a guaranteed business opportunity that just needs seed capital. The financial advisor isn't your friend. He is a hunter looking to sell you a complex insurance policy you don't need. The smartest people understand that relationship authenticity is the rarest and most valuable asset on earth. By consciously choosing to look poor, they install a high-performance filter on their social reality. It is a litmus test. If someone is genuinely interested in talking to you when you are wearing a stained t-shirt and driving a dented 2012 Honda, you have data. You know they are interested in you, your mind, your humor, your soul, not your wallet. They dress down to stress test their relationships. They use their appearance to repel the parasites so they can find the partners. There is also a purely economic, cold-blooded reason to look broke: the rich tax. It is a phenomenon known in economics as price discrimination. The moment a contractor, a mechanic, or a lawyer realizes you have deep pockets, the price of the service mysteriously inflates. It is an unconscious and often conscious bias. They see your luxury car and they assume you won't miss the extra zero on the bill. But if you pull up to a high-stakes negotiation in a brand new Porsche, you have surrendered your leverage before you even open your mouth. The other party looks at your car and knows you can afford to pay more, so they will fight harder and hold out longer. But if you pull up in a rusted Ford F-150, you remain an enigma. High IQ individuals view every interaction as a negotiation, and they understand the power of information asymmetry.
The goal is for you to know everything about their financial position, while they know absolutely nothing about yours. By looking poor, they maintain the upper hand. They reserve the right to plead poverty. They can negotiate ruthlessly because they don't look like they have the money. Looking rich destroys your bargaining power. Finally, we have to talk about the dark side of human nature. Psychologists distinguish between two very different types of envy. Benign envy is when someone admires you and is inspired to become like you. But malicious envy is dangerous. This is when someone resents your success and actively wants to tear you down to level the playing field. In a time of rising economic inequality, displaying wealth doesn't trigger admiration, it triggers malicious envy. It activates a subconscious aggression in the people around you. By flashing your status, you inadvertently make yourself a symbol of their own financial insecurities. This makes you a prime target for frivolous lawsuits, for subtle workplace sabotage, and for social ostracization. The wealthy survivalist knows that the tallest blade of grass is the first one to be cut, so they choose to stay low. The stealth wealth individual possesses a cynical but accurate map of the human heart. They understand that while society claims to celebrate success, our biology is wired to tear down the alpha. People love the underdog, but they secretly harbor a visceral resentment for the winner. So, the genius plays the role of the underdog to perfection. They don't just dress down, they actively participate in the collective commiseration. They complain about the price of gas with genuine frustration. They nod sympathetically when neighbors talk about inflation. They mimic the struggles of the herd to signal safety. This isn't just acting, it is high-level social camouflage. By appearing to struggle, they neutralize the threat of malicious envy before it can even form. They allow others to feel superior to them, feeding the egos of those around them, while they quietly own the bank. The ultimate goal of wealth is not consumption, it is freedom, or what economists call optionality. But the irony is that the traditional trappings of wealth are the enemy of this freedom. If you buy the biggest mansion in the neighborhood to prove you made it, you have just signed a contract of servitude. You must maintain a high income to pay the property taxes, the landscaping, and the repairs. You cannot quit the job you hate. You cannot take a sabbatical. You become a prisoner of your own image. The smartest people look poor because they're obsessed with keeping their burn rate artificially low. This is the math of true power. If you have $5 million in the bank, but you choose to live on $40,000 a year, you are mathematically invincible. You can survive a market crash that lasts for 50 years without ever selling a single stock. They choose the poor aesthetic because it buys them the ultimate luxury, the ability to say no to anyone at any time. The man driving the Ferrari often has to be at work on Monday morning to pay for the lease. The man on the bus might never have to work a day in his life again. So, take a second look at the person you see wearing the faded hoodie, or the neighbor who insists on mowing their own lawn. Society tries to tell you they are lower status, but nature tells a different story. In the jungle, the apex predator doesn't wear neon to announce its presence. The lion blends into the grass. The smartest people don't want to be admired, they want to be free. And they know that the best way to protect a treasure is to make sure no one suspects it is there. They aren't hiding because they're ashamed of their success. They are hiding because they're winning. And the true winner never announces his hand until the game is over.